Hey guys, it's Miss Arlequin, and today we're going to do a lesson on word connotations. So our teaching point is how do we analyze the connotative meanings of words using context clues. Alright, so today we're working on a lesson where we're going to analyze word meanings and contexts, and we're going to determine a word's figurative, connotative, or technical meaning. So I just want to remind you that the context in a surrounding text can provide clues to a word's meaning. And when we're reading something and we come across a word that we don't know, we can use the context in order to figure out what the intended meaning is, particularly when it is a word that has multiple meanings. So let's look at two examples of two sentences which are dealing with the same topic, but there is a slight difference in word choice. When Sarah learned that she had lost the election, she requested a recount of the votes. When Sarah learned that she had lost the election, she demanded a recount of the votes. What's the difference in these two sentences? Well, requested and demanded have similar denotations or dictionary definitions. However, demanded, as it's used in the second sentence, has a connotation or an implied meaning that suggests anger. So at times, authors are going to select words for their connotations or the suggested feelings that go along with those words, and those feelings are what take the word beyond just the literal meaning or the denotation. So you can have words that are synonyms, but the difference between them is whether they are associated with a more positive feeling or a more negative feeling. So if you look at the comic on the right, you can see that the cannibals are cooking this man alive. They're planning to eat him. And this man probably called them a cannibal, and their response is, actually, we don't like the term cannibal. We prefer to be called homivores. Now, if we were to look in a dictionary for these two terms, they would basically mean the same thing. They would mean somebody who eats their own kind. And the cannibals are pointing out the point of connotations, that there are certain words that have a more favorable association to them, and in this case they feel that cannibal is a negative connotation and they don't want to be referred to as that. What is the denotation of these two words? Marla and Juana had a plan for what they would do at the slumber party, and the pirates' scheme to steal the chest full of jewels did not succeed. So again, when we look at the denotation, we're basically just looking at the literal dictionary meaning. So what does it mean to have a plan, and what does it mean to have a scheme? We also want to think about the connotations of these two words, plan and scheme. So these two words have similar meanings, but they have different connotations. Basically, when you make a plan, you are coming up with some ideas or events that you're going to do, and a scheme is the same literal meaning. Some words are going to have favorable connotations, whereas others have negative connotations. So when you look at the difference between plan or scheme, is the connotation of plan favorable or positive, or is it negative? What about scheme? Is that a positive, favorable word, or is it negative? Once you've figured out if the word is positive or negative, you want to think a little deeper, and you want to start to analyze the word choice that the author used. How does each word choice affect the meaning of a sentence? Always think about how things would be different if you were to change something in the sentence. In this case, how would it be different if we changed the word that was used? How would that change the meaning of the sentence? How would it change our understanding of what's being described? My nosy neighbor watches me walk my dog each morning. In that sentence, we're going to focus on the word nosy. Nosy is being used to describe the neighbor. Based on that word choice, is the neighbor being portrayed positively or negatively? Well, when I think about the word nosy, I usually associate it with annoying brothers or sisters or people who are not minding their own business. And so I would say that nosy has a negative connotation. And now, how would the meaning be different if instead of nosy, the sentence said curious? Well, if I was to say my curious neighbor, curiosity is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, when you are young, people encourage you to be curious. It's the way that you learn about the world, and it shows that you're an active learner. And so if we were to say that the neighbor was curious, the tone of the sentence would be more positive. I wouldn't necessarily be thinking or have a negative picture of this neighbor in my head. Chad sank into the luxurious goose down comforter. So here we're going to focus on the word luxurious, and luxurious is an adjective that's being used to describe the comforter, specifically a goose down comforter, which if I use my prior knowledge, I know that goose down is a type of feather, and it's usually a very soft feather. Is this word positive or negative? Well, again, based on my prior knowledge, and even sometimes just the sound of the word, although that's not 100% foolproof because words can be tricky, I would say that this has a positive connotation. Something that's luxurious is of a really rich, expensive quality. Alright, so now it's time to practice. You have 5 sentences, and our focus words are underlined. What you're going to do is identify the connotation of each underlined word. So is it positive? Is it negative? And you actually sometimes have a third choice. Sometimes a word can just be neutral, meaning it's not positive or negative, it's just kind of in between. It doesn't really have a strong feeling associated with it. Once you've identified the connotation, try to take a deeper analysis, like I did with the sentence about the nosy neighbor, and I thought about how I could change nosy to curious because it has a similar denotation, but the connotation was different. See if you can do the same thing for these sentences. Write down another word choice, something that has a similar meaning that the writer could have used, and write a little bit about how that would have changed the meaning of the sentence. Sentence number 1, Angela meekly asked her teacher for a different book. Sentence 2, Amy slurped up the hot soup. Sentence 3, the skinny lion stalked any animal it could find on the dry plain. Sentence 4, Maylin sipped her tea daintily. And 5, Ari was ecstatic after winning the contest. Good luck with your practice.